They discovered a shocking twist in the prodigal son's tale of love and redemption. Few knew what truly happened that night in that distant land. The moon hung low, casting a silver glow over the rugged hills of Judea. It was a night thick with anticipation and whispers. Hearts were heavy. Worries clung like shadows, wrapping the townsfolk in a dense fog of uncertainty. The air crackled with a mix of hope and despair. The elder son stood by the parched earth, his brow furrowed with betrayal. He had worked tirelessly, day after day, only to watch his brother squander their father's love. But what no one knew was that the prodigal son had not just spent his inheritance, he had made a pact with a group of wild gamblers who promised fortunes but delivered loss. The streets were buzzing, tales of misfortune echoing in the night, flashes of golden coins slipping through desperate fingers. Meanwhile, the father waited. His heart beat in time with the distant hoofbeats on a clay path. Every sound made him jolt, hope flickering like a candle in a storm. A shadow of doubt lingered in his eyes. Could his son return? Would he come back broken or worse, filled with pride? As the night wore on, whispers swirled about curses, warning signs, and dark creatures said to haunt the wastes where the son had ventured. And then it happened. A figure appeared on the horizon, silhouetted against the glow of the rising sun. Was it him? The townsfolk held their breath as the figure drew closer, the rhythm of each step reminding them of a heartbeat. The father rushed forward, trembling, overwhelmed with conflicting emotions. Would his love embrace the lost son or wash away the sins that had stained their land? But even as they reunited, an uncanny sensation rippled through the air. The son was changed, eyes wide with untold secrets, a shadowed look of fear mixed with desperation. What had he seen in those foreign lands? Was he truly home? And loomed the greatest mystery of all, how could he ask for forgiveness when he had betrayed the very love that was meant to redeem? The villagers huddled together, eyes narrowed, breaths held. Unsure of how to react. Had they witnessed a miracle, or was it just the birth of another tragedy waiting to unfold? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As dawn broke over the quiet town, the air trembled with an uneasy anticipation. The father embraced the prodigal son, his hands trembling, not just with joy but with the weight of unsaid words. The villagers peeked from behind doors and shutters, uncertainty clouding their judgment. Was this joyful reunion a harbinger of peace or the beginning of new turmoil? Among them stood the elder son, rooted to the ground like a weathered tree. Anger pooled in his belly, hot and fierce. How could this be? His brother, who had scorned their father's love, now returned to the very warmth he had cast aside. The joyous laughter of the gathered townsfolk felt like a taunt, a painful cacophony that struck against his heart. As the father led his lost son home, a distant memory phantomed through the elder's mind, the days when they played together, laughter ringing clear as a bell. If only he could sever this feeling of betrayal, but the moment was clouded with the scars of labor and loyalty. His own heart whispered accusations, each beat a reminder of the debt his father had not let him forget. As the feast began, music wove through the air. Flutes and drums beckoned the weary souls to celebrate, but the elder son stood still. He clenched his fists, struggling against the emotions that swirled inside him like a tempest. "Father," he called, his voice rising, slicing through the joyful sounds. "These years, I have served you, never disobeyed, and you have never given me even a goat to feast with my friends. And yet this son of yours who squandered your property returns to a banquet." The father turned, his face etched with both love and sorrow. "My son," he said gently, "you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. Yet we must celebrate. Your brother was lost and is found, dead and is alive again." The elder son, racked with frustration, stormed into the fields, unable to bear the facade of joy any longer. There, among the rows of grain standing tall under the morning sun, he struggled with the collision of love and resentment. These crops, nurtured by years of toil, now felt their firmness crumble under the weight of his heartache. Meanwhile, his brother basked in the glow of affection, oblivious to the storm that existed just outside their yard. Yet within him lingered a shadow, a flicker of doubt whispered in his ear. What had he really come back to? The warmth of his father's love felt like a double-edged sword, cutting deeper with every heartbeat. The clamor of laughter felt foreign, sinister in its jubilation. As the two brothers lay divided by the joy of reunion and the pain of unspoken hurts, a question wafted through the air like the fragrance of a suffering flower: could love be both a balm and a burden? Would forgiveness be the tether that could unify or the chains that bind? What shadows linger in the hearts of those who wait, and how often do we misunderstand the depth of another's return? The sun began to dip low in the heavens, casting long shadows across the fields as the joyous celebration continued in the home. Music and laughter echoed like the distant chimes of a broken bell, each note stirring and unsettling the elder son as he wrestled with his emotions in the solitude of tilled earth. Deep in his heart, he longed for the simplicity of their shared childhood, when joy had seemed a birthright and love a plentiful harvest. As the elder son stood there, a figure approached from the edge of the field, a woman from the village whose eyes reflected the wisdom of years spent in the presence of God. She was woven into the fabric of their community, a silent observer known for her insights more than her words. Sensing his turmoil, she paused, respectfully maintaining distance but radiating an understanding that drew him closer. "Why do you remain here, son?" she asked gently, her voice as soft as the evening breeze. The words flowed around him, wrapping him in the comfort of companionship without judgment, inviting him to share his sorrow. He sighed, the weight of his heart pouring into the words. "Could I ever feel at home again? My father welcomes back the one who broke his trust, while I stood by, faithful and true. It is as if my obedience counts for nothing. The love I've cherished feels overshadowed by this spectacle." The woman nodded knowingly, her gaze unfaltering. Faithfulness, dear heart, is a tapestry woven together with both joy and heartache. Yet, have you considered that your brother's return is a reflection of your own journey? Has he not also traveled a road of darkness in search of light? Can love, in its purity, extend beyond the hurt? She spoke of the mysteries of the heart, the uncharted landscapes that reside within every soul. Love is full of paradoxes. What if, in his return, your brother holds a gift for you as well? What if the true celebration is not merely for him, but for the reconciliation of your own spirit? His thoughts tangled at her words. Was it possible that his pain was intertwined with the journey of his brother? As he wandered through his memories, images of their shared laughter and the deep bond of kinship flooded his mind. But every time he tried to reach for that connection, it slipped through his fingers like grains of sand. Meanwhile, inside the home, the prodigal son savored the feast, but beneath the surface of ecstasy, an echo of guilt weighed on him. He found himself searching for a way to articulate his inner turmoil. Would his father still see him as worthy after abandoning everything? Would he understand the depth of regret that occupied the very essence of his being? In the corners of his mind, he sensed the brother, perhaps watching from the shadows, clutching his own heartache. As the elder brother turned back toward the illuminated house, the night deepened with the sweet fragrance of fig blossoms. The air vibrated with possibilities, fraught with unspoken words and tender silences. "Father!" he suddenly called out, hesitating at the threshold of the home, straddling the line between pride and yearning. The father's gaze lit up as he turned, an embodiment of grace. "What have you come to say, my son?" And there, caught between the realities of their tumultuous past and the undulating waves of their uncertain future, questions hung unasked in the air like stars just beyond reach. Could reconciliation heal the fractures of their hearts? What new burdens would arise from renewing the bonds of love? As silence enveloped them, was there a deeper truth waiting to be unearthed from the depths of forgiveness, or were they destined to remain in the shadows of their fears? The stars twinkled defiantly against the canopy of night, as if to mock the seeds of doubt blooming within the elder son's heart. He stood frozen at the threshold, and the weight of his unspoken thoughts lay heavy upon his shoulders, much like the season's harvest that awaited the hands of a faithful worker. "Father,"